This is my review of Transformers 1. Now I'll be honest, this one surprised me. Because Transformer movies, at least the live action ones, tend to be a bit of a slop. There's a lot of action, a lot of things blowing up, but nothing solid story-wise, and the timelines are all messed up. So I didn't know what to expect going into this movie, but honestly, it was a good story. Now, the movie shows Optimus Prime and Megatron before they became Optimus Prime and Megatron, before the Autobots and the Decepticons came into existence. So basically, in this movie, they're known by other names: D16 for Megatron and Orion Pax for Optimus. Now, these two guys are minors. They're just regular Transformers on Cybertron that are mining for Energon. And by the way, they're not Transformers. They can't transform in this movie. They're just regular, basically they're like regular people, but robots. And you see them go about their daily lives and see the dynamics between the two of them. These two are actually friends in this movie. They're best friends in this movie, which is a bit shocking to me. And you see how they interact with each other and how they go about things. And it was a refreshing take on these two characters to show where they actually came from. And now in the movie, the Transformers are running out of Energon. They have to mine the Energon. There's no way getting it otherwise. And then there's Sentinel Prime and a group of Transformers who can actually transform. Now apparently they're the leaders of Cybertron, and the people of Cybertron, they're living beneath the surface because they're afraid of an alien group that's been attacking them, and Sentinel and his men are the ones who protect Cybertron. Now, the main storyline is Orion Pax wants to find the matrix of leadership, because it's theorized that with the matrix of leadership, the Energon will start flowing through Cybertron like a river, and they no longer have to mine for it, and all the people of Cybertron can actually go about their lives and do things that they actually want, instead of doing something they absolutely have to do. So yeah, Orion Pax tries to prove himself with him and D16 joining a race of Transformers, because, even though they can race because they're not Transformers, and they get noticed by Sentinel Prime and his men, and then they end up in a bottom level somehow. One of the other Transformers throws them in the bottom level, and then they decide to go to a surface and try to find the Matrix. And they two other Transformers go with them, and when they reach the surface, they stumble upon the graveyard of the Primes, the original Transformers that were created by the most powerful Transformer. And then the story goes that the Primes were killed by the alien invaders, and they fought hard, but they were defeated. But then they realized that one of the Transformers, the Primes, isn't dead, and he wakes up and he tells them the truth that they weren't defeated. They weren't defeated actually. It was an ambush set up by Sentinel Prime, who actually isn't a Prime. And he set it up so that he could gain power and control all the Transformers. And then, realizing this information, they decide to go to Cybertron and tell everyone the truth. And on their way there, they stumble upon the High Guard, the original group of Transformers that served the Primes and protected the Cybertronians. Now, while they're there, Sentinel Prime and his men figure out about these guys, and they get attacked. They get attacked, and half the High Guard, along with D16 and one of D16 and one of their friends get captured. Oh yeah, before that, I have to tell you, the old Prime that was resurrected, he gives them the sparks of the the sparks of the dead Primes, and they Optimus, Orion Pax and Megatron and the others get the ability to transform. Their bodies completely change. They become bigger. They become stronger. They have weapons. So yeah, back to the movie. Now they get captured and then taken back to Cybertron without anyone knowing, so they can be executed as traitors. So Orion Pax convinces the rest of the High Guard to come together and fight for the freedom of Cybertron, and then they go and attack Cybertron. By attack, I mean they attack Sentinel Prime and his men, and then all out war breaks out between the High Guard, Orion Pax, D16, and Sentinel Prime and his men. And in the end, they end up winning the battle. But during the battle, D16 becomes really cold-hearted. Now, he was mad from the beginning because the way Sentinel Prime betrayed them. And we can see him turning into who he is, Megatron. And at the end of the movie, D16 ends up killing Sentinel Prime. He rips him in half. But before that, Orion Pax tries to stop him, and he gets caught in the line of fire, and he gets shot, and D16 lets him die. He lets him fall off a cliff. And then, and while D16 takes the spark from Sentinel Prime, and which was originally belonged to a Megatronus Prime, and puts it into himself, and he turns it into Megatron. Orion Pax, who's falling into the Earth, falling into Cybertron, is seen by the dead Primes, and they decide to resurrect him and rename him Optimus Prime. And then he comes back to the surface with the Matrix of Leadership, and then he fights Megatron, and then he defeats him, but he doesn't kill him, and then decides to exile him. And then, because the Matrix has returned, the energon starts flowing through Cybertron, which means they no longer have to mine for it. And Optimus Prime becomes the leader of the Autobots, while Megatron becomes the leader of the Decepticons. Now we know that stuff. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. And it was a good backstory movie. Honestly, I wish I could have seen a live action version of it, but this was a pretty good one. It showed where these characters came from, who they were, that they weren't always the way they were when they were carefree individuals. And it was nice. So yeah, that's my review of Transformers 1.